Hi, my name is Becky Estep, and I am here with Miss Rachell today. I'm super excited to do an interview with her. I've been working with her for, gosh, over a decade now, and I kind of wanted to jump in and ask a couple of questions. And so the first question is you're known for helping families find their dream homes and getting deals done that others can't. And so what keeps you passionate about this work?
Um, about realtoring specific.
Yes, absolutely. Realtoring specific.
Um, well, I mean, it's all about putting people in a home that they can afford. Getting them put in their first time home is super fun. Finding their forever home, finding an investment, you know, helping people to establish more in their mind of what it is they're actually looking for and that they're going to be happy with their long-term real estate investment, whether it be um, turning into a rental, or like I say, their forever and ever home, or even a stair step home, that they might just be needing for a few years and then upgrade due to, deciding to grow a family, or things of that nature, job, or but yeah, putting people in the right home for what they're after is probably one of my big passions for being a realtor.
So let me ask you this. What got you into it? Why did you decide to do this?
I've invested in real estate since 2009, and I mean, I think I've said this for the last, you know, at least 18 years, that I just caught the bug. It's in my veins. So I expanded further. I've had this real estate license since 2019, and it's
Mm.
initially just going to be for my company with my properties. And just here in the last 2 or 3 years, I guess it would be, I decided to go ahead and use that license professionally to help other people out outside of, my own company. So just basically put all 10 toes and fingers in into the real estate world 100% now. So yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. I love that you started getting into like real estate like in 2009. My gosh, you've been in real estate forever, investing in houses. And so what do you think sets you apart from other agents in your area?
um well, I know the struggles of, the maybe not necessarily a struggle, but just like everyone else, I've buy houses too for myself. So I know how the process goes. Whether you like to admit it or not, buying real estate can be very emotional. And so what I've learned over the years is to take that professional portion, the licensing of the realtor, and then also being an investor, to be able to apply that to my clientele whenever they're buying houses. So I feel like I can relate to them well, good, because I've been in the industry in one shape, fashion, or form since I was in my early 20s. So knowing how the process works, knowing the stresses of it, and how to avoid certain things in the process of buying a home, knowing the ways to guide my client and where they, let this is how we're going to do this. It's going to be better this way.
Mm.
Being able to cap a fear and just being like, I understand this process is just difficult. There's a lot of realtors out there that, haven't bought homes, and I
Mhm.
don't feel like they're as relatable. So
Sure.
relatability from that aspect, I think, has been a very good asset as far as for real being a realtor. So, and that's important in this industry, to have
Sure.
been through the push and the pull and the losing a house, because it didn't work, it wasn't the one. And then, clearly at the end of the day, it's the funnest thing to get someone into the right property for them. So having
Mm.
experience and all, that's pretty much that. I feel like that that's a good asset to have as a realtor. And
Like knowing the market, right? And
yeah,
knowing what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. I think that's so valuable, like because you've done it. Like you've gone out there and you've found investment properties and you know what to look for whenever it comes to like pricing stuff out. You've done the nitty-gritty work on fixing up houses so you can walk through a house and be like, "Oh, this is going to cost this much to fix and this is going to cost that much to fix." And I think that is one of the reasons that I love working with you is because I know whenever I help people with credit, then I know sending them to you, you're going to get them the best deal and they're not going to get messed up or spend too much on a house that, you know what I mean? Like you can see the problems ahead of time. And so I think that's one of the things I love about you. And so I'm always excited to work with you. You're one of my favorite people, the go-to gal, right?
yes, and you're my credit queen, my coach, my every. I wouldn't. There's no way. I mean, I'm just going to brag on you a little bit here, but you doing what you do in this real estate industry, I mean, there is no way that I would have this strong credit score that I have from the tips and the tricks. And
So that's what I was gonna go to next is how did we meet?
okay, so it would have been about 18 years ago, 19, 20 maybe. It's been a long time. So back in the day, I did not have good credit. I don't think I had really bad credit, but I didn't have credit. And I was looking to buy a property, to get out of renting. And I actually met Rob Cowger was my realtor, and he was like, "Man, I don't know how your credits, I don't know if this is going to get it done." So he referred me over to you, and I think that you worked on my credit. I don't think it was terrible, but it wasn't real great. I think you worked on it for like 6 months. I want to say it was something like that. Um,
Mhm.
there were some items that I needed to have disputed, and I mean, I think there were a couple of them that you literally got down to a zero balance, if I remember correctly. Um, but what I love about you is that even after the paycheck is done and you've done your job and you fixed what needed to be fixed, you still answered the phone. I have said this for years. And you have, and there have been a couple of situations where I needed help making sure that I was doing the right thing with my credit well after you were, done waving your credit coach, your queen magic wand that you have. It's you're incredible at you're incredible at that job, and then you care even after the, like I say, the paychecks are done. So I can't. So, from my personal experience, this is why I send everybody to you, because I know you're not just going to drop them like a bad habit once you've fulfilled the job. So
Sure. Well, and
that means
so
a lot.
so speaking of that, in this industry, a lot of times I hear that credit repair doesn't work. And so what would you say to somebody that said credit repair doesn't work?
um,
Because some of my lenders, I get pushback. Some real estate agents, they don't think that this process works. And so, have I sent you business?
um, yeah, yes, and every single one of these clients that you've sent me, they come out of having their credit fixed or repaired, or even built credit. I mean, not only did you fix what they needed, but they walked away from it and they were then able to, because of a credit score, be able to purchase a home. um, and then in that process, you've always been good about kind of going that extra step and making sure that once they leave you, that they're still on a good path. So you've told them,
Sure.
this is how you play the credit card gods. This is what you don't do with, this type of debt. This is what you can do with this. It's just so, highly recommended. And it does work, because I know,
Because you did it.
because I did it, and
Right.
it ended up being very well worth the money for the money that you ended up saving me on some of my bad debt that I had. I think I had one of those old Providian cards. If everybody kind of in our age group remembers those things,
Sure.
$500 Providian card. Boy, just went out and burnt that thing up in a week. But I think I had a Providian card. I think I had like some LASIK eye surgery stuff. I don't know. It's just some things. And I distinctly remember thinking in my head, paying her to do this was well worth it. Not only did you fix the credit issue, but then you had me on a good path of how to keep it going.
Sure. And how to get it higher and higher. You're like 800 scores. You crack me up. And you're
Yeah.
always looking at it and you still care very much because it's everything for what you do.
Yeah. It's everything.
Investing in property that you want to land on the next property and you want to be right on it and get what you want. And so I love that you care enough to make sure that you keep maintaining your credit. So that makes me so happy. When I get repeat customers, it kind of stresses me out. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, but so you're not just helping clients, you're actually building a stronger community by giving people a real path to home ownership. And so, how does that feel for you when you hand over those keys and you're like,
I mean, it's clearly one of the most rewarding things of this job. Um, but yeah, taking people out. I mean, I have rentals, so I'm not against a person renting. Sometimes you just have to. But I tell all my renters, I'm like, listen, don't leave me unless you need a bigger house or you're going to buy something, because the buying clearly is the way to go if you can. And being a part of that part of a community, I mean, and being able to help people, you know it's I, I don't know, it's one of the funnest parts of this job. So um
so what do you want people to know about your commitment to your clients?
well, I'm a big huge fan. I understand why you wouldn't necessarily want return clientele, because that means that they're needing help again.
Well, yeah. Unless I'm helping them with money management. I
Okay.
want that kind of repeat client, right? So that I can show them a system where they can pay their house off in 5 to 7 years, that kind of stuff. Money management system, yes, please come to me. I am here forever for that type of stuff, but not for credit stuff. But life happens to everybody, and
Yeah.
sometimes you get jammed up a second time. And like the top three reasons that I see people have credit challenges is because of job loss, divorce, or medical bills. And sometimes that stuff is unavoidable. And so I welcome them back and we work on it again and we get them back off and running. And so credit just it affects everything in your life. So, anyways, back to my question. What do you want people to know about your commitment to clients?
Well, I mean, it, it doesn't necessarily stop whenever I get them a house sold. I mean, I'm there from, beginning to end. Um, I want them to understand, and if they ever need any type of questions answered after the sale, they're I don't just disappear once they get keys. This is um the commitment is, first of all, finding them the right home, which sometimes realtors have to read a little bit of a mind or two, on the buying side or the selling side. And I've just learned over the past years to really get into the nit grit of what a person is actually wanting to buy, whether they know it or not. Does that make sense?
You got to read minds.
You
You
got
gotta
to
be a little bit intuitive, and then also I go back to knowing the market, right? Like
yeah, that's part of
be
my.
able to help the client properly.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like the back of the house commitment is a big thing when you're realtoring, because knowing the market, keeping up with the market, keeping up with what's happening. That's huge, man. Like watching what interest rates are like for loans. Seeing what's happening in your city, your metro area, always staying as up and in front of things as you possibly can. As a realtor, it's very important, and a lot of times that gets kind of pushed over to the wayside, but not with me, because I'm always watching that stuff to know how to guide somebody in a good direction, knowing um just being educated with with the landscape. I mean, that's what it is basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I know before the interview, you're like, hey, should I wear this shirt? And so what is the shirt that you currently are sporting?
Okay. So this is Stout Lending. Um,
Mhm.
my preferred lender. They're local to Oklahoma City. It is a mom and pops outfit. I love that. They're not corporate, so you get a lot more one-on-one value per transaction. We work together daily. In fact, we just closed one today, so
Hey, congratulations.
good. Yes, and
Ah,
the client was super happy. Walked away happy camper with realtor and lender. Um, Chris Herford is actually the owner of Stout Lending. Like I say, he's local to Oklahoma, so that's important. I feel like to stay as local as you possibly can. You
well,
know,
and to have a good teammate, right?
yeah, 100%.
So I love working with you guys, both of you, because I know that you guys are on top of it. You make sure that the client has the best experience humanly possible with all the things that come out up whenever you're trying to get a loan closed, right? Because there's 10,000 moving parts and it seems like you guys got it together. And so I love working with you guys. So just wanted to throw the kudos out there for Stout Lending too.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
and so, if someone was watching this and needs a realtor who truly fights for the clients, what is the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me is just to give me a holler on the phone. Like I'm still one of them that'll answer their phone. Um,
Perfect. So, what's your number?
my number is 405-413-3893. So it's just my personal cell. I don't have a work cell. I just have this one. I don't want two phones, don't need two phones. It's just me. It's just me. So yeah, yeah, that's the best way to,
Perfect.
or shoot a text.
Hi.
Shoot a text.
Yep, I love it. And so, for other professionals who want to partner with you, what would you tell them?
As far as that's a loaded question.
I know.
What perspective are you question? What? Be more specific. How about?
So, you know, I'm putting this on my website.
Okay.
So, whenever people peruse this and they want to look for the testimonies and see who I work with and why, like there might be an insurance person that peruses through this. And so I know that you vet people like a crazy human and make sure that they are the right fit to work with. And so, I mean, I just gave you the answer. So, if somebody wants to work with the wonderful Rachell and they maybe want to get into real estate investing, should they call you?
Absolutely. So what I've kept my eye trained for all the different aspects, from commercial to vacant land to um, mainly residential.
Mhm.
But I'm versed in all the aspects, which is kind of hard to find sometimes, because you might have a realtor who's just a lot of land. They do a lot of vacant land. They know how to do those deals. Yes, I can do those deals, absolutely. But you might have someone who's more all commercial. What
Mhm.
I tried to do was across the board make myself available and put together a team that, if, like, for instance, if they can't quite get financed right now, they go to you to get that credit fixed. Okay.
Mhm.
Once the credit is good to go, I've got that an amazing lending team with Stout.
Right, right,
Um, and then I'm here as your go-to gal, one-stop shop realtor. So I'm confident in all the different styles of real estate. If you get into trouble, I've got someone who knows who I've got someone on the team, my broker actually, Dan Belcher, that can actually help you there with foreclosure in case that happens, and then, he'll try to help you in pre foreclosure, try to help save
Mm.
money in that deal. And then once they get done with that, they need to build back their credit up again. And I've got Becky to help them out again if they need. So between from start to finish, in case we mess up and we need to start over as a human, which happens, we've got the most ideal team. We have definitely covered every single basis to get somebody into a piece of real estate.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing this interview. I know how busy you are with all the pieces because you are the go-to gal. I could barely get you to sit still long enough to do this. And so I'm so grateful that you got down here and got this done. Thank you. And so, okay, that's it, guys. Have a wonderful day and
all
go
right.
to the go-to gal if you need a realtor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Becky.
Yeah.
Talk to you next time.